Hey guys, welcome back to another very interesting video of our channel Versatile Knowledge, and today I'm going to be answering the top 30 the most frequently asked questions about the Realme X3 smartphone. So I've been using the Realme X3 for about 40 days now and I know everything in and out of this device, and I'll be answering the top 30 most frequently asked questions by you guys in the comment section and on social media. So here we go. The first question is about the Realme X3's screen, the display brightness. Does it support HDR? Is it HDR10 certified? First things first, this is actually a full HD plus, that is 2400 x 1080 panel, which is a normal IPS LCD display with a refresh rate of 120 Hz. And the higher refresh rate actually is an icing on the cake, guys. One thing that I actually have said in my in-depth display video, if you have not seen the display video about the Realme X3, I've done a specific video about the Realme X3 display brightness and everything. You can go ahead and check it out. So the answer to this question is the display is not at all bad. It is actually a very good display. The colors are very accurate. I've watched HDR content on this on Netflix and on YouTube as well. Yes, it supports HDR, but why they did not mention it on the stage is because this display is not HDR10 or HDR10 plus officially certified. It is a generic HDR panel, and that's why they did not mention about it on stage or anywhere in their marketing presentations. And it supports HDR, as I said earlier, and also it has widevine L1 certification for playback of full HD videos on Netflix, on Amazon Prime Video and other OTT platforms. And this is an LCD display, and obviously the LCD displays do not have the deeper blacks, but in saying that, I'm not telling that this display is a bad display at all. This is a fantastic display in terms of quality. The only negative point about this display is that it does not get as bright as a competing OLED panel or a competing AMOLED display that we can see on OnePlus 7T or Realme X2 Pro or the Redmi K20 Pro or the OnePlus Nord or something in that price range. If you compare it side by side with an AMOLED panel or something, then you will feel like this display is a little bit less bright, but in saying that, this is not at all a bad panel. So guys, the second question was about the performance of this device. How does it handle the day-to-day tasks? As you guys would be obviously knowing, this is an overclocked Snapdragon 855. So this is a Snapdragon 855 Plus, which is clocked at around 2.96 gigahertz, and also the GPU has been tweaked for 10% better performance than the Snapdragon 855. It is a 4G enabled device, and as we all know, Snapdragon 855 Plus is a beast of a processor. We had seen that on OnePlus 7T, we had seen that on the Asus ROG Phone 2, and the software also actually combines and complements it for a fantastic day-to-day performance of the device. So guys, the third question was about the Realme UI. How does it perform in the real life scenario on the Realme X3 smartphone? So when Realme shifted from Color OS to Realme UI, one thing that I really liked about this Realme UI is they cut down on all the unnecessary things that was not needed. All the important things that is needed, like the native screen recorder, the screenshot by using the triple finger, and many more small bits and pieces of customizations that is present on Realme UI is fantastic. When it comes to the software optimization side of things of Realme UI, that is where it takes a hit. Realme UI is very well optimized actually, don't get me wrong, but to actually utilize the hardware potential that is present on this device, Realme UI takes hiccups. Where does it take hiccups? In terms of optimizing for the refresh rate, and in terms of optimization for the camera, in terms of optimization for the battery. So these are the three important phases, or these are the three important scenarios where the Realme UI on the Realme X3 has been not well optimized. The battery life sometimes take a hit, or sometimes it acts like a little bit weird. Sometimes I noticed that Facebook Messenger kept on utilizing a lot of battery in the background. Facebook kept on using a lot of battery in the background. Even apps like Twitter, LinkedIn, when I turned those apps off to not use the resources in the background, then the battery life actually improved by a huge margin. I'm usually able to get around 5.5 hours of screen on time with regular to light usage, around 4 hours of screen on time with heavy usage like gaming all the day. Couple of software updates here and there, and this will be actually up to the mark. Fourth question was about how is the camera on this device? How does it compare with the Redmi K20 Pro and the OnePlus Nord and the Realme's own Realme X3 Superzoom? On the Realme X3, as we have done a dedicated camera review, this device device's biggest negative point is the cameras on this device and nothing else. The camera has a great potential. It is a 64 megapixel Samsung GW1 sensor which is actually shooting native 16 megapixel photos. It has an f1.7 or 1.8 aperture, and the camera images are not extraordinary or something. It is actually very underwhelming. We have done a dedicated camera review of this device and we have explained in different scenarios and different lighting conditions and including the people faces and selfies and everything. Apart from the main camera and the first selfie camera, all the other cameras that is present on this device is actually nonsense. The wide angle camera has a lot of distortion around the corners. The macro camera is totally useless. It's a 2 megapixel macro camera, very under optimized. Wide angle camera that is present on the front is also having a lot of noise. I think they should have actually omitted the wide angle camera and have gone for a single 16 megapixel shooter, which is actually very good if the beauty mode is turned off. The 64 megapixel mode, that is actually the high resolution mode, is also underwhelming. Only thing that I liked is the tripod mode in the night conditions is good on this cameras. Apart from that, everything else in terms of the camera department of the Realme X3 is nonsense. So guys, the fifth question was about the Realme X3 gaming review. A lot of you guys asked me about the dedicated gaming review of this smartphone, and we have uploaded the gaming review of this smartphone right today, and it is already live on the channel. So it performs fantastic in no matter what games you throw at it. It may be PUBG Mobile, it gives constant 60 FPS. There is very limited frame drops that you can see, and the heat management of the device also has been done fantastically, and the Call of Duty also performs very well in even the ranked match situations and on the normal match situations as well. And other day-to-day games are like kids are like, it's like bacha for this smartphone. So guys, the sixth question and probably the most asked question of the Realme X3 is to suggest a type C to 3.5mm adapter for this device, and my first suggestion is the OnePlus official type C to 3.5mm adapter. I've been using the OnePlus 3.5mm adapter for this device for a very long time, and there is no drops or there is no lags in terms of audio. You can hear the right side things from the right ear and the left side things from the left ear, and there is no problems whatsoever. The only thing that I actually felt with the OnePlus adapter is the availability in stock. It is actually always unavailable. It is always out of stock. If you get it somewhere on online sites, please go ahead and buy the OnePlus type C to 3.5mm adapter. It costs 390 rupees and you have to actually pay 50 rupees for delivery charges no matter where you live in India, and it will be around 450 rupees total. But for 450 rupees, it is a fantastic investment and it gives you lag-free audio using the wired earphones. So guys, the seventh question was about to suggest a tempered glass and back case for this device. As we all know, it has glass on back and front. I actually do not recommend any of the online tempered glass solutions for this device. I go to a nearby offline store and I tell them to give me a tempered glass for the Realme X3 device, and the tempered glass that they provide on the offline stores is much better than what we get on the online stores like Flipkart, Amazon or some other sites. If you want a back case for this device, I actually recommend to go for some generic normal back cases that will be available on Amazon and Flipkart under 300-400 rupees. Eighth question was about the best Bluetooth earphones for the Realme X3 device. Since it does not have a headphone jack and you will be actually wanting to use Bluetooth connections or Bluetooth earphones for the first time on this device, then my recommendation would be divided between neckband earphones and the TWS earphones. So in terms of neckband earphones, I have three options. The first is the Realme neckband earphones, that is the yellow color one. It is available at around 1799. The second option would be OnePlus Bullets Wireless Z. We have done a review of that. I've been using it. It is very good. Third option, or the most recommended option, is the Oppo's Enco M31. Oppo's Enco earphones, that is the neckband based earphones. The sound quality of those earphones is fantastic, but in terms of gaming and all, there is a little bit of latency in that as well. If you want me to recommend the TWS or truly wireless stereo earphones, my first recommendation would be the Redmi Earbuds S, which is very cheap and very good in terms of sound quality, in terms of mic, in terms of the latency and all. There is a low latency mode as well. The second recommendation would be the Realme Buds Q, which is again similar to Redmi Earbuds S, around 2000 rupees. The third recommendation would be Oppo's Enco W31, which is actually the best solution available. So these are actually the in-ear type earphones that I have actually recommended, guys. If you want a plastic earbuds, or if you want something which looks like AirPods or something, you can go for the OnePlus Buds at 5000 rupees, or if you can go for the Realme Buds Air at 4000 rupees. So guys, the ninth question for the Realme X3 device was about which Gorilla Glass is present on the back and front. So the answer is the Gorilla Glass 5 is present on the back, and the same Gorilla Glass 5 is present on the front as well. But again, Gorilla Glass is also actually crackable and it will also give a lot of scratches. I've not used any tempered glass or back cases for this device, and I can easily see a little bit of scratches front panel also, and I've been always cautiously using this device. 10th question was about the speaker system on this device and how good is the speaker system. well. Let me tell you guys, the speakers are pretty bad because this is a single bottom firing speaker, and when you're playing games or something, you'll actually hold the smartphone like this, right? Or when you're watching a movie, you'll actually hold the smartphone like this, and it will obviously block the sound that comes out of the only single grill that is present on the bottom. And also there is a lot of sound distortion and there is a lot of noise in terms of sound. If you want me to give you a sample of it, here we go.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us.
So guys, the 11th question for the Realme X3 was about the charging speed of the device. Does the battery of this phone heats up and does the charger heats up? So the charging speed of this device is fantastic. 0 to 100 in exactly 58 to 59 minutes is what I have used in my personal scenario. Dart charger, that is the provided 30-watt charger, takes around 58-59 minutes, which is actually close to the advertised value, which was about 50 or 55 minutes, and it is fantastic. The phone actually does not heat up. That is a very good thing, because the Dart charger actually sucks in all the heat and it does not give back the heat to the device. The 12th question was about the call quality, the cellular call quality, the mic quality, and the video quality using the video calls. That is also a very good question that people have asked, because we guys are now at home and we need to use the front video camera for a lot of video calling apps like Duo or Hangouts or Google Meet or Zoom, WhatsApp video call or something else. Both of the SIM supports 4G Vivo LTE, and the cellular call quality is fantastic. There is no noise in terms of mic because we have a mic over here which is very good in terms of receiving the audio signal that you are speaking. There is no disturbance to the receiver, and also the mic quality is also very good. When you are recording the videos, the mic quality is not that good. The mic quality is very good for calls only, and the video call quality is also surprisingly very good, because I think it will be using the single 16 megapixel camera or the primary 16 megapixel camera for the video calls and not the ultra wide angle camera. So that video quality using some video calling apps, if your internet is fast enough, is actually very good on this device as well. There is no complaints with respect to this. The 13th question was about, does it support multitasking, split screen, and picture-in-picture mode? Yes, this device has Android 10 out of the box, and Realme UI has been very well optimized for split screen scenarios. There are some amount of third-party apps which does not support the split screen window. Whichever video playback apps are there, like YouTube, it may be Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, everything on this device supports the picture-in-picture mode. 14th question was about the 120Hz refresh rate panel that is present on the device, and you guys have asked whether it has been very well optimized or not. The simple answer is no. The 120Hz refresh rate feels fantastic on the system UI. It feels very good on apps that is built in, like the Google Contacts, Google Messages or something, on your phone dialer application, on your settings app, on very basic apps, guys. When it comes to heavy applications like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the 120Hz is not very well optimized. I, as a reviewer, can notice that small frame drops that is present on this device when I am using the Twitter. When I click on an image, it will take a split second to draw that on your display or something. So this is a small thing which can be actually fixed with the software update. The 15th question was about the dark mode on this device. Does it support dark mode, and how does it look on this LCD display? As I said earlier on the first question, the LCD display is not bad at all, and the dark mode on this LCD display surprisingly looks very good. It is not a grayish type of dark mode. It is actually a pitch dark mode, and it is fantastic as well. And it does not look as great as some AMOLED displays dark mode or OLED displays dark mode that we can see on Galaxy S20 Plus devices or something, but overall the dark mode also looks very good, and it supports on all the applications throughout your user interface. The next question was about, is the back panel slippery, and is it a glossy or a matte back panel? So as you guys can see, this is a completely glossy back panel. It is completely slippery. You have to be extremely cautious while using this phone without a case or something. So guys, the 17th question was about the Realme X3 or the Realme X2 Pro, which is a better choice. If you have a budget of 2000-3000 extra, then you should go for the Realme X2 Pro, because Realme X2 Pro is obviously a better choice only because it has a 50-watt charging, which is fantastic, and it also has the stereo speakers optimized by Dolby Atmos, and the stereo speakers on that device is fantastic, and it has a Super AMOLED display display with a 90 Hz refresh rate and in-display fingerprint scanner and everything, and also that device has the same 855 plus processor. The next question that you guys asked was whether should I buy the Realme X3 or the Realme X3 Superzoom. So the only difference that is present between the Realme X3 and the X3 Superzoom is that the name itself, which translate to real world values. The Superzoom, it has the 8 megapixel telephoto camera with the optical image stabilization, and also it has the 20x optical zoom and 60x digital zoom or something. So if you are a fan of taking a lot of zoom shots, then you should go for the Realme X3 Superzoom in terms of camera capabilities. Otherwise, everything else, the whole device is the same as Realme X3. So if you are on a tight budget and you don't like the that zoom camera or something, you can just go ahead and buy the Realme X3, guys. So guys, the next question you guys asked was whether should I buy the Realme X3 or should you guys buy the OnePlus Nord. So the only answer to this question is, what is your requirement currently? If you're looking for a smartphone which has excellent software support, excellent cameras, optical image stabilization, the brand value that OnePlus has created, then you should buy the OnePlus Nord. So, because it has optical image stabilization, 48 megapixel Sony sensor, I think it is very well optimized than this one. Already it got 2 software updates. There is software support for 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security patches as well, and Oxygen OS, as you guys all know, OnePlus brand value and everything. So if you are actually looking for a smartphone for casual gaming and everything else, like regular day-to-day tasks and movie watching and everything else, and the cameras are also very good, and front also supports 4K video recording, which is again a plus point for the OnePlus Nord. So if camera, software and brand value is important for you, go for the OnePlus Nord. If performance, beastly performance, gaming, day-to-day tasks and everything, and camera is not that important, or you just take some casual photography or something, then Realme X3 is a choice for you. Adding up to that question, you guys had also asked that should I buy the Realme X3 or should I go for the Redmi K20 Pro. I've actually used the Redmi K20 Pro and the Realme X3 side by side for the last 2 weeks, and I can say that one thing is actually prominent. The 120 Hz refresh rate is actually, it actually makes a difference for me personally. I've used the Realme X3 and I've seen that the 120 Hz refresh rate makes the phone a little bit more smoother to use. Redmi K20 Pro's biggest advantage is its display. Even though it is a 60 Hz refresh rate panel, but the display quality is fantastic. The colors, the HDR10 support, it may be edge-to-edge panel because of the pop-up camera or something, is fantastic. And again, the value for money that it provides at that price range is great. If you're getting the Redmi K20 Pro at around 19,000, 20,000 after exchange, because the current retail value is around 23,000-24,000, I guess, and if you're getting that phone with exchange at around 18,000-19,000, there is no deal like that. I still have the Redmi K20 Pro with me. I'm waiting for the MIUI 12 update that can improve a lot of things that was not good on that device. The 20th question that you guys asked about the Realme X3 is about the Chinese applications, the bloatware apps. As you guys know, I've done a separate video about the Realme X3's Chinese bloatware apps situation, and I've also told you guys how to remove the bloatware apps from this device. There are around 15 to 20 bloatware apps that comes pre-installed, and I've done a separate video. I'll be linking it in the card section over here, and you please check out the video and just remove all the bloatware apps. Yes, there are a lot of bloatware apps, and also there is the Clean Master that is pre-installed, and Realme have said that they'll be sending a software update to fix this that Clean Master that is present in the phone manager. You guys have asked about there is the Google Contacts and which other Google apps come pre-installed. The pre-installed Google apps are Google Phone Dialer, Google Contacts, Google Messaging, Google Duo. Default browser is also the Google Chrome browser. So it is like a Google first device, which is called. They replace all the main applications from their proprietary Realme apps to the Google applications to give a more stock feel. Also there is that sidebar that is Google Discover feed on the left swipe as well. So guys, the next question is about the haptic vibration motor and how is it. It is fantastic. It is not as good as like some S20 series or Pixel series or iPhone series or something, but for the price range it is fantastic. Clicking on the fingerprint scanner actually gives you a great feel while unlocking the phone, and when some notifications come and some calls come or something, the vibration motor is very good. It is actually a fantastic vibration motor for the price range. So guys, the next question is about whether the frame is plastic or aluminium. The answer is the frame is plastic, it is not aluminium. Realme X2 Pro has an aluminium frame which gives more durability in terms of of it does not get chopped off after a few years of usage or something. This is a plastic frame, yes, but it does not feel cheap or something, guys. So guys, the next question is about, does it have a notification light always on display or something? No, it does not have a notification light. It does not have always on display because it is an LCD panel, and it also does not have an ambient display, but you can customize when notification comes that the flashlight can turn on and something like that is there. So guys, the next question was about how is my experience about the punch hole display or the full screen display or that water drop notch or V drop notch. So for me, full screen displays is the best. If full screen displays is not present, the single punch hole is the best. So that is the two options that I actually prefer. Dual punch holes, as I have said in my previous videos, is useless because the second camera is basically useless. It is an 8 megapixel sensor which has a lot of noise and not well optimized. Instead of putting the two lens on the top and distorting our view of watching movies or something, just put a single punch hole and just finish off the job by making the optimization better. That is my feedback to all the brands, guys. So guys, the next question is about how is the fingerprint scanner and the face unlock. It is 10 on 10. There is no single time that I have felt that this fingerprint sensor does not work or something. Also, the face unlock is also good, and there is a little bit of light animation that comes from the punch hole camera. Apart from that, everything else is good about the fingerprint scanner and face unlock. So guys, the next question you guys asked me was about how good is the front camera and how good is the video recording from the rear camera of this device. As you guys might be able to notice, I'm recording from the front camera of the Realme X3 smartphone, and the quality is okay-ish, guys. It's not that good or something. And also the audio is coming from the internal microphone, so that you guys can be a judge for yourself and know how good or bad is the quality from the front camera and the rear camera. So guys, the next question that you guys asked was, is this phone value for money or is this overpriced or something? I would actually say that this is actually value for money, considering the fact that this is a Snapdragon 855 Plus processor, which is the biggest USP for this device. The 855 Plus is very well optimized for this device and it runs fantastic on this device. There are a little bit of negatives that I've mentioned in my previous videos and in this videos as well, that if Realme fixes those those negatives like the clean master that is present, the 120Hz refresh rate optimization, the camera optimization and battery optimization using a software update, this would be a fantastic choice as well. So guys, the next question that you guys asked me was whether does it support VOWIFI call recording or not. So yes, this smartphone has support for voice over Wi-Fi, that is on the Airtel SIM and the Jio SIM. Calls actually gets enhanced and it will become more crystal clear by using the VOWIFI option. So it is very good. And yes, it has call recording option that is present by default on the Google phone dialer application, which is again a very good option to be there. But one thing is, when you are actually recording a call or recording a conversation, when you click on record call, what happens is it actually sends a voice or verbal notification to both the parties that this call is being recorded or something. This is for actually security purposes that Google themselves have made in their application. So guys, the final question is whether this smartphone is value for money, whether this smartphone is worth buying or not, or should I buy some other options or not. My honest opinion will be, you should ask a question, what is your primary requirement and what is your budget? What is your most important requirement on this device that you will be doing? Requirements such as great cameras, great software support, Super AMOLED display. If you want very good performance, but it's okay if the gaming performance is casual or normal or something, then you should actually buy the OnePlus Nord because the software support, the software optimization is fantastic. And also Redmi K20 Pro is also a good option in this price range if you're getting with exchange of your current phone for around 18,000-19,000 rupees. When you have a primary requirement of gaming, if you have a primary requirement like beastly performance, you want to game all day, you are a heavy user, you want to watch a lot of movies, heavy usage, and you want that 120Hz refresh rate, then Realme X3 is a fantastic option. I would actually recommend the Realme X3, the base variant, instead of the Superzoom, because this smartphone is more value for money than the Realme X3 Superzoom. So if you guys have liked this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content as this one. Thank you for watching, guys.